know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This week's motivation is called the ant mentality. And yes, actual little insects, ants that crawl on your picnic basket. Why am I talking about the ant mentality? I heard this from a guy named Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. If you never heard of him, look him up. His audios, his books, and everything. And he was talking about the ant mentality. And the ant mentality is very simple. If human beings would start to think and work like ants in many ways, it would help a lot of us reach success a lot faster or reach more success than what we're going after. And what does that mean? An ant is always thinking about wintertime and the summertime. And when we talk about summertime and wintertime, summer meaning the time of everything is going good, everything seems to be easy, everybody's happy, everybody's having fun, everybody is reaping the benefits of the work that they put in. In the summertime, everybody's thinking that way. What is the wintertime? The wintertime is when things aren't going great. Things aren't really popping off the way that you want them to. You might have just tried out for a team and didn't make it. You might have started a business and didn't get any customers. You might have tried to talk to a girl and she wasn't interested. You might have tried to make a team and maybe you did make the team, but then the coach said, well, you're going to have to be the manager, or you're going to have to be the water boy, or you're going to have to play JV. Wintertime is when things aren't going exactly the way that you want them to go. Number one thing I want all of you to understand before I even explain the rest of the ant mentality is that every human being goes through seasons. So you might look on social media or on the magazine covers or somewhere on TV or somebody you know in person and think that they never go through the winter, spring, fall, and summer seasons. Everybody goes through seasons. Everybody has their seasons when everything's going great. We all have our seasons where we're working hard to build for the future. We all have our seasons where it's getting a little bit cooler, but we're putting in the work. And we all have our seasons when things are just not going the way that we want them to go. Everybody goes through these cycles. We just do it at different levels. So number one, you have to understand that you're not alone in going through the winter and summer. So ants, think about winter all summer. So when they're in that period of things going great, you know what they're thinking? You know what? This is not going to last forever. The winter season is eventually coming. We need to take advantage of this time and start making sure we fortify ourselves and start planning up for the future when it's not going to be so easy, when everything's not going great. So when winter comes around, if you think about ants themselves, what are ants doing in the winter? All they're doing is gathering up food, storing it in wherever ants store food at, wherever they store things at. So when the winter comes and they can't go out and find food, they got it already stored up. That's one way the ants start to think, well, that's the way the ants start to think about winter in the summertime. Now, ants are also, in the wintertime, they're thinking about summer. So when things are going great, they were thinking about, you know what, there's going to be a point where things aren't going great, let's get ready. Now, on the other hand, this is what ants think. When things are not going great, you know what the ant is thinking? This is not going to last forever. There's going to be a time where we're going to be good again. There's going to be a time when we're reaping the benefits again. There's going to be a time when we can go out and get food again. We are not going to be stuck in this winter forever. The only thing we got to do is survive the winter, stick it out, don't compromise on our principles, and we will be back in summer in due time. The same way that summer turned to winter, winter is going to turn to summer again. That's the second way the ants think. So first way, think summer, think winter in the summer. The second way, think summer in the winter. What else are ants always doing? You ever seen an ant just sitting around, just chilling, doing nothing? Any of you ever seen an ant just doing nothing? Whenever you see ants, what are they doing? They're always doing one thing, moving. Ants are always doing something. They are always active. They're always getting something done. They're always on their way to get something done, or they're just coming back from getting something done. Human beings spend so much time, waste so much time doing nothing. Waste so much time thinking about what they should do. Waste so much time talking about what they're going to do. Waste so much time researching what they need to do. Now, am I telling you that you shouldn't go to sleep? Am I telling you that you should never sit down? Am I telling you that you should never read a book? No, that's not what I'm saying. I want you to be able to take what I'm saying in these conversations here and think on a little bit higher level than have to literally translate every single word I say and say, oh, well, Dre, does that mean I should never, take a shower because you're saying ants are always moving? No, what I mean is you need to be more active. You need to take more action, do more, produce more, put more energy into what you're doing, take more initiative, and I guarantee it will produce more results. Ants are always moving. An ant never just sits down, sits around and does nothing. And if you ever seen an ant, I'm sure all of us have seen ants before, you know that's exactly what it is. And you know what else an ant does? This is the third thing you're going to get from the mentality of ants. Ants always keep figuring different ways to make it work. If you ever had an ant crawling on the ground and you stepped your foot in front of the ant, you didn't step on it, but you stepped in front of it to block its path from where it was going, what did the ant do? The ant would try to go, the ant would then immediately, as soon as your foot laid down, what would the ant do? It would immediately go around you and say, okay, what's another way I can get to where I was going before this object, whatever this happens to be, got in my way? Human beings, some human beings are good at that, but a lot of human beings are not. We're on our path, we're going in this straight direction, something gets in our way. Something's not going the way that we planned it out. Something didn't go the way that somebody told us it was going to go. It's not going the way we thought it was going to go. What do most of us do? We run straight into the object and try to bang our heads into it and say, why is this object here? This wasn't in the manual. Nobody told me this up front when I got involved. What else do? We stand there and we back up and bang into it again. Then we go tell somebody like, hey, I'm working on it. I'm trying, but it's just not working. I keep working on my game, but I'm not getting better. I keep trying to do this, but I keep getting my shot blocked. Because you see the roadblock in front of you, but you just keep running right into it. Even though you can see it, it's right there, but you just keep going right into it. Ants will immediately, as soon as they see a block in the path that they thought they were going to take, immediately they start thinking of another way. And actually, they don't even start thinking of another way. They instinctively start going another way because they see it's obviously not going to work the way that they thought it was. Those are 3 things that I want you to take from ants. Number 1, you are always thinking that the great times are not going to last forever, so you need to prepare, take advantage of the great times so that you're prepared for when it's not so great. And whenever you get to a point where it's not so great, keep your mind strong enough to know that eventually it's going to be great again. You just got to stick it out. Number 2, always be active. Always be taking initiative. Always be making something happen. Don't just sit around waiting for something to happen to you. You make things happen. And number 3, excuse me, if anything ever gets in your way, if any roadblock ever blocks your path, your immediate response is to instinctively find a new way to get there. The ant doesn't sit there and look at your shoe and then look up at you and say, hey, do you plan on moving anytime soon? No, the ant immediately goes around you. And if you move your foot in the new direction it took, guess what? The ant immediately goes around that. And if you keep moving your foot and keep blocking that path, the ant will eventually find a way. The ant's not going to stop. You're going to get bored trying to stop the ant before the ant gets tired of trying to go around you. And if you take those 3 principles and apply them to anything that you work on in life, whether you play basketball or you go do something completely else in life or you never played basketball before, I guarantee you'll reach success quicker and at a higher level than wherever you're going to right now. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. I'm all over YouTube and I'm all over your social media. My Snapchat, you see it, is at Dre Baldwin. My Instagram is the same name, at Dre Baldwin. My Twitter and my Periscope are both at DreAllDay. The website, I don't think I got to say it, but it's DreAllDay.com. And don't forget to get my free book, Buy a Game. Just go down there to the link description, video description, and get the link. Work on your game.